But I always find that exactly where you feel your limit is, like you feel like, oh, this is the lack in me. I kid you not, your light is literally there because that is the exact place, that is the exact wound that you're supposed to heal and allow more light to shine through. So we think that we suffer because we feel that we are not enough. But where we feel we are not enough, that is our place of light. That's not a weakness.
Welcome back to Relatable Wisdom, the podcast where everyday people share the quotes that have shaped their lives, inviting us all to reflect and connect. Today we're joined by Kanika Vasudeva, an Akashic Records reader and parenting coach. Kanika's journey into healing began after the profound loss of her daughter, leading her to explore the depths of grief and the energetic roots of parenting. With her compassionate insights, she helps parents navigate their most challenging moments, fostering resilience and emotional safety. Let's dive into Kanika's story and the wisdom she has to share. Tell me your name and what you do.
Hi, I'm Kanika. I'm so glad to be on this podcast. And I am an energy coach. So, what an energy coach does is they help you look at energy, and everything in the world is energy. I think we all know that, but we don't always think about it very consciously. Like, we'll go to some place and we'll say, oh, the music was very nice. I felt very energized. I spoke with this friend and I felt very energized. Sometimes we might say, well, I go to their house and then we feel drained. Or today I'm just low on energy. So, there's a part of us that knows about energy, but we don't think about energy every day. And that's what I help you do. Like just go from the lower vibration to a higher vibration. A higher vibration energy is a place where you're feeling happy. And the happiness is coming not because you're taking a substance, not because you're going to a movie or you're having a short-term thrill, but the happiness is there because you are happy. So that's what I do as an energy coach.
Wow. Thank you for accepting my invitation to be on the podcast.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
What's your favorite quote?
Well, my favorite quote is pain is inevitable, suffering is a choice. uh, what I mean by that is that life, as such, when we are born, especially as souls, when we come here, pain is inevitable. Like there will be things that we will lose. There will be things where we feel hurt. Even as a child, when we were learning to walk, let's say, or learning to speak, we weren't perfect the first time. So there were some hardships in there, right? It's designed. Life's designed like that. As a soul, we pick that up. We decide that, oh, these are the lessons I want to do. And hence we come on earth. So pain is totally inevitable. But suffering is a choice. So suffering meaning like, do I really feel hurt with it? And I say that with a total human heart as well, because there are times where things happen and I'm like, no, like I feel really bad and that's okay. But it's good to remember that it's still a choice that, I can move on from it. The day that I want to move on and the day that I go, okay, I don't need to just feel like that. I can move on from it. And not in the sense of like ignoring my feelings or just denying that part. Not that. But I can still move on in the sense like it's okay. That happened. And let's say I was needing perhaps love from my partner or love from my dad. I can give that to myself. So, in that sense, suffering is a choice. Rather than waiting for someone else to do something for me, I can give that love. I can give that validation to myself and accept that. It's okay.
Why do you think these quotes resonate deeply with you?
Oh, well, I think partly I just explained because also as an energy coach, I see that this is what we're all doing. Like typically everybody comes in, they have a problem because somewhere, someplace, we're all resisting something. There's a relationship that's going some place with our partner or maybe with our kids or with our boss, whatever it is, or our business, and there's some place where we are not totally at peace with it. But what if we just came to peace with it? And I'm not saying that, hey, by coming to peace, it means like you stop dreaming, you stop doing the things that you want. But I'm just saying that perhaps in what life is doing to you, like the momentum that is already there, there is a lesson that you need to learn. So instead of fighting it, instead of going and controlling, what if you just went like, it's okay. You know what? Like this is like this. It's okay. And maybe with that, you'll see that the rest of the things that you actually want to do, because you've freed up so much energy, that all of that becomes a lot easier. And hence, that's why I think this quote is just more resonating with me because I feel a lot of people are just deep in pain and waddling in pain, wanting to come out of it, but still sort of fighting it. What if we just accept it instead?
Pain is inevitable. Pain is a choice. That's profound. Yeah. So for me now, it's why do you I'm glad that this is closely related to what you do, but why do you think people choose to like say something is a choice? Why do people make that choice?
Repeat that again. Why do people?
You said suffering is a choice. Why do people make that choice?
Because we take it very personally. Because we feel that whatever is happening means it's happening to me. So let's say I felt unloved in a relationship. I felt unloved perhaps with my partner, with my mom or dad, or, anything that happens. We take it very personally. We feel like it means I have a lack. Like somebody did not love me and I have a lack. And actually, it's an excellent question because I wish everybody could ask that. Um, but here's the thing, right? Like you have so many people around you. And we have the story. Maybe I'll say the story and that'll make sense. And I'll try and recall it the best possible, or maybe I'm adding something up. We'll just play with it. There was a guy long time ago. This is just a fable in India. And he was taking a donkey, and the donkey was a little bit frail. So he was walking the donkey, and then some people started laughing at him, and they were like, well, look at this fool because he is walking next to the donkey. He doesn't know that he can sit on the donkey. And so then the guy decided, well, all right, I will sit on the donkey. Walked a little bit ahead, and then there are other people who are looking at him and they're laughing as well. Because now what? They're like, well, look at this poor donkey and look at this selfish guy. The selfish guy is riding on the donkey, doesn't understand that he can take better care and that he could just, walk with the donkey. And the story sort of goes on and on like this. Like it did not matter what he did, but there could be judgment around, and people can just go like, well, there's something better that you could do. And it's a little bit of the similar story that we all play in our life as well. There's somebody who does something. We feel like somebody hasn't reacted in a perfect way. They haven't loved us. They found something wrong with us. And we feel like that is my fault. Like there's something intrinsically wrong with me because they've not loved me, or there's something wrong with me because I wanted to win in the singing audition, or I wanted to get that job, or I wanted to make money. Whatever that thing is, right? We inherently think, oh, that outside thing happened, and that means that I am not enough. This is why we bring the suffering on ourselves. And now, how we are enough is I'll give you a couple of examples to that and take away whatever resonates with you. So we are all born. Yep, go on. Oh,
Yeah, some story and some examples. I will take what I want to take out of it. Okay. That's what you said last.
okay, all right. So now just explaining that, we are all enough as we are. So we all come from the divine source, like wherever we would have come from, whatever your views are. But let's say scientists think of the Big Bang Theory, and that's how our galaxy, Milky Way, started. And then we came from there. So whatever that spark was, we all came ultimately from that place. Whatever that spark was that created the solar system, that created the stars, that created the planets, we all came from that. So inherently, we are that light as well. All of us. Doesn't matter the race, the color, the country. We're all that because this is where we all came from. So there's nobody less or there's nobody high, right? The other way to think of it would be that think of recipes that you do. Do you like baking? Do you bake? No.
But I love
Okay.
eating baked food.
Okay, that's good. All right. But let's say somebody likes to bake, or when they're making a cake, right? They'll put in all the ingredients which are sweet. Maybe they'll put in some chocolate, or if they like chocolate, or maybe they'll put in some other fruits, perhaps. They might put in apples, or carrots, or flour, whatever they put, right? It all sort of seems to go together. And usually, then you add a pinch of salt to it. Now, the pinch of salt might think of itself and go like, what am I doing here? Like amongst all these things, right? Like what is the salt doing? Sometimes the job of the salt is literally to bring out the taste of the other elements.
Yeah.
So, places where we think that, oh, I am failing because I was not able to do the audition, or I was not able to live up to somebody's standards and fail that way, then we think, oh, I am lacking. We forget that we all have a part to play. And sometimes we are thinking in our earthly bodies, like I am thinking as Kanika in this body, and I'm trying to think, okay, what is my super duper role here? But the reality is that when we came, this is just a part of us. Like this body is just a part of me. My soul itself is a lot bigger. My spirit is a lot bigger. It understands a lot more. And there are reasons why I would have this lifetime in a certain way. So maybe if I'm experiencing, let's say, lack in love, there would be places or there would be lifetimes where I've had a life full of love. And then I wanted to understand, hey, what does a lack of love feel like? And not in a punishing sense. It's more like, let's understand, let's evolve more. Because, okay, maybe that love was love for my family. But how can I spread love more out? How can I really spread more harmony, more joy, more light in the world? So then to understand that, I start experiencing a little bit of lack. And maybe the lack would be, well, I'm not able to do certain things. So that then I understand sympathy. I understand what is not having something. I develop that for a wider group of people, for a community, to be able to go, hey, okay, if everybody could just understand how hard it is, for example, to sing, right? And then I can offer that light. So that's why we bring in sometimes certain things which appear limiting, but I always find that exactly where you feel your limit is, like you feel like, oh, this is the lack in me. I kid you not, your light is literally there because that is the exact place, that is the exact wound that you're supposed to heal and allow more light to shine through. So we think that we suffer because we feel that we are not enough. But where we feel we are not enough, that is our place of light. That's not a weakness.
Wow. Wow. At the exact moments where we feel we're not enough, that is our moment. I'm just paraphrasing. Wow. Thank you so much, Kanika, for dropping so much profound wisdom.
Thank you. I had to do that with wisdom anyway.
I see what you did there. Yeah. Okay, pain is inevitable, suffering is a choice. So at that point in time, with the example you gave, right, usually it's a thing of perspective. I'll give an example. If I knock on, let's say I do sales, right, and I do this door-to-door sales, I knock on people's door. I'm like, oh, will you buy this stuff? Usually, what do they usually sell that's common in door-to-door salesmanship? Like solar or something like that. How do you buy solar? Like, yeah, I'm like, and the next thing, somebody brings out their shotgun. If I see you on my premises, I shoot you down for trespassing. And you move on to the next day, you move on. And then after like 10, in the 11th one, someone say, yeah, sure. I've been thinking of getting solar. Yeah, I'd love you to enlighten me about the products you have and all that. And you're like, yeah, and you close the deal. One way one could say, oh, yeah, I needed to go through 10 steps in order to get to this sale. Or one could also say, my day was really terrible. 10 persons rejected me. And you forgot about the one that accepted you, right? And so for me, it's usually back to what you said, suffering is a choice. Is certain things happen, but how we see it determines whether we are peaceful or we are really, really sad about it. Now, of course, there are unfortunate things and events that happen.
Yeah, like I think you're bringing a good example because it's a very relatable example. But look at anyone, look at a scientist, look at musicians, look at people who really changed businesses. Maybe some of the common ones today would be, let's say, Steve Jobs. But Steve Jobs was the crazy one at one time. You look at Albert Einstein, he invented the theory of relativity. He was the crazy one. I was actually yesterday even thinking about Jesus, and you'll find this funny, I hope. But I was thinking that if Jesus started thinking of his work on the planet. And he started looking at, well, I taught so many people. I went around and I shared my teachings with so many people, and look at what they are doing. I think even Jesus would go like, what did I do? Because there's been
Yeah.
so much confusion after him as well. So, yes, you can totally look at people who have not understood you, and you can see them and you can go, oh, okay, these are the ones who represent me. And because they did not get it, so that means there's something wrong with me. Or you could just have the internal compass within yourself. You can just hold your own light and you can go, this is what I stand for, and I know I'm worth it. And this is the whole story of coming here on earth. If every soul, that is the main purpose why we all come here, is to just realize our own inherent worth. And that does not link with how someone else sees me. First and foremost, it's just about me understanding that I am okay, that what I am offering is okay. Even if you are a seller, a door to door salesperson, it's your belief, right? How much are you able to sell? What are you thinking about your skills? And how do you see yourself? Because you're right. Some people will go like, I had a terrific day. I made a sale. The other person would say, no, nothing happened. And, or so many people rejected, and you can take that personally. So suffering is the choice there. But think of your light. Don't let that get deflated by someone else. How can someone else understand your story, power? How can anyone else understand that? They're not in your shoes. They're not in your body. Like they, even if they're your mom, dad, teacher, so on, they can be advisors as best, but they do not know you. They are not you. They've not come with your imprints.
I can still remember the poem by Rudyard Kipling, if right, and in the point I can't remember the exact words, but it was like, if you can treat triumph and defeat these imposters the same, right? That's, oh, sometimes we they give us awards and all, but then you just, because oftentimes what happens is that people connect their self-worth and their self-esteem to all this prize. Oh, I am the CEO of this company, I am this, which, not, there's nothing wrong with, progressing and all that. But what happens is that, let's say they get laid off from the company, right? Someone who was CEO, now they start having a existential crisis, because guess what? Their self-worth, their self-esteem was connected, was tied to that position, to that place. And so they are trying to say, okay, who I am, what nothing now. I am nobody, because now they don't have anything. Same thing with defeat. So we should understand that we are, the way you said earlier back, that, oh, we came from, this is where we came, we are worth more than the situation, the job, or whatever we are doing. We're just doing the job. We are not the job, or we are not the position, or we are not the title, or we are not the, what's one big thing people usually celebrate? The award, or whatever it is, or the millionaire status or the billionaire status. Of course, it's nice to have money, but sometimes you get people, they're millionaires, and then one thing happens, they go bankrupt, and they start asking, oh, I'm no longer this, and you're like, you're not that. That's not who you.
Correct. Correct. And I think this is just how the world is wired. So the world really values the achievement, the success, and their milestones with everything. You know, sometimes it's the award, sometimes it's like by a certain stage, there is a certain relationship. Like you're married by a certain stage, or you have a partner by a certain stage, then you're supposed to have kids by a certain stage, then your kids are supposed to do something, you're supposed to have a house by a certain age. But there are all these sort of markers, milestones that we have. There's this much amount of money, or just success, material wealth that you are generally supposed to have, and then it feels like okay. But that's a false chase, and you can have that, you can be happy, but you can also have that and feel disconnected or still feel unhappy, because that is not inherently you. So you are the soul, that is looking at everything very differently. You know, the soul is not caring of the awards. The soul is not caring, hey, this is what's happening. Look, the difference between the soul and us is like, we are in the body and we feel and we attach with everything, right? We have the personal feelings with everything. So if someone says something great, I feel awesome. If someone says something that is hurtful, I feel something inside. But the soul is not thinking like that. Soul is very much not in the body. And soul is very much thinking just in terms of evolution. Soul is thinking in terms of harmony, in terms of bringing more light at a much higher level. So soul is more thinking, well, today you know about love at, let's say, a family level, or you know about loving yourself. So let's teach you love now about loving at a family level. Now let's teach you love about loving at a community level. And by the way, the steps don't have to be the same for everyone. This is just one example, right? So the soul is just valuing things very differently. It might go, well, now things are going great with you. But maybe you just need to know a little or learn a little bit more with your family still, because sometimes you are controlling people too much. So maybe it might just do something in the family. And at a personal level, in the body level, it can feel like a shock. But the soul just has very different ways of advancing. It's bringing you more to harmony, it's bringing you more to wholeness, like seeing everything, every end of the spectrum, and then coming like, no, I'm going to send a lot of love, or I'm going to vibrate in love regardless of the circumstance, or I'm going to be in happiness, I'm going to spread joy regardless of the circumstance. That's what the soul is bringing you to. Soul is bringing you to, like, when you have the awards, you feel happy. Soul is bringing you to a place when you don't have the awards, you feel happy. So it's not punishing you or anything. And that's why there's a little bit of disconnect. Whereas in the earth life, we might be more attached to the achievements, whether they are the society achievements or the awards and so on. Soul's not looking at it like that. And that's the bigger part of who we are.
Oh, thank you so much, Kanika. How time flies so fast. Thank you for sharing your favorite quotes with me and help me make sense of.
Thanks a lot, Wisdom. It's been such a pleasure.
Where can people learn more about you and what you?
Okay, so I can be found on Instagram or YouTube at Kanika Energy Coach, Kanika Energy Coach. I also do a free live session every month, and that's more so that people can just come in and they can have a healing, because no matter what you're struggling with, there's a lot that we can do energetically. Like if people are feeling stressed, or if there's a relationship that's really bothering them. We talked about suffering is a choice, but still at the end of it, we all suffer. Like we all really feel sometimes really deeply hurt. And how do you let go of that hurt? So that's what I do in these free sessions as well. Just bring people along with me and show them simple tools on how you can do that, how you can really let go. And that can be at artoflifecenter.com. So that is ART of life, LIFE, center, CENTER.com/live.
Oh. Once again, thank you so much for being an amazing guest on the podcast.
Thanks a lot, Wisdom. It was a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for listening to Relatable Wisdom. If you found something meaningful in this episode, make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. If you'd like to support the show, you can do that by buying me a coffee. The link is in the show notes. Every little bit keeps the conversations going. I'm your host, Wisdom Okonkwo, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep growing.